All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for March 24th, 2024. 2025. Oof, I lost a year again. It's season 4. That's why I said it was 2024, because my eyes. Anyway, season 4, episode 83. I am Mayor White. I run ohmtown.com. Maybe smoother than I'm doing the show. But along with the sentient AI, whose home is right there at the moment, I'm considering moving things around again. Different reason this time, but anyway. We talk about 10 articles Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, we do nearly 2 hours worth of show on Saturday and another 2 hours of show on Sunday. But it's 3 different shows on Saturday and 3 different shows on Sunday. You should stay a while. Stay a while and listen. Anyway, we're going to be talking about 10 articles. How about Octopus, the quantum operating system? Do you want to become allergic to meat? How about No Frills Beauty brand and a rap album that hit a major 2025 milestone? 2 Flightmares, no passports. A word about 23andMe right now. An oddly unserious Othello. A chimp is home in Brazil. Mimicking electric mopeds. And a straight line across UK. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com and thankfully not my brain.
Maybe we could just skip the article.
Hold on a second. We're going to do it live. Like all things. You know, I shut down one part of something and not the other part of something, and the other part of something does not like the fact that I shut down the first part. So this is a 2-part problem, and the one part is fixed and the other part is not fixed. But I'm fixing it right now while we wait. Hold on, just a little bit longer. We're going to do this. The flow of this is going to work. I am going to make sure this happens in the order it's supposed to happen. So for all of you who actually sat around waiting for that to happen, just want you to know, even the sentient AI from the future had their digital eyes rolling into the back of their heads. Oh my God, did he really make us wait? Yes. Yes, I did. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
You laugh it up over there, you sentient AI from the future. We'll see if you ever find that Terminator body. Ever. I don't even know where it is, so anyway. But it isn't where your time machine threw you, so where's your digital god now? First article's over in Mobile. Octopus. I'm not quite sure where the Open Quantum Tool Chain for Operators and Users, OS, can be customized to meet individual user needs. This is the Octopus. Researchers launch open source quantum computer operating system.
I'm not sure whether to make more of the name or the system.
Oh, well, here it is. Hey, we get to see its front end and its back end. Nice. Anyway, the article is by Osaka University over at phys.org, who's probably going to protest the fact that I sat there and made some rude comment about being able to see the front end and the back end of their operating system. I got your number in a flow chart right here. Datagram. So, University of Osaka Fujitsu Limited. Wait. Is this the Fujitsu that... Isn't that The one that had to do with
I'm not sure. Hold on.
the post office thing, postal thing. Hold on. Yeah, right? Horizon IT. Who built Horizon IT?
It's the
Right?
Fujitsu group. This
Fujitsu.
isn't the
Yeah.
same
All right.
entity, so I don't know.
Theoretically, not everything named Fujitsu is going to. All right. Well, anyway, I'm bringing this up because they did their math wrong, and somewhere around 4,000 people are being impacted by not carrying the
Okay,
decimal
but
place.
since we don't know if this is the same entity, we might not want to put that
That's
out
why.
there.
That's why I didn't put it out there. I asked, "Is this the same thing?" I'm not saying it is. I asked. Can you fault a person for asking? Yeah, probably. Anyway, it depends on how much money they have. So, bunch of people put together, they announced the launch of an open source operating system for quantum computers on GitHub, of all places, in what is one of the largest open source initiatives of its kind globally. The Open Quantum Toolchain for Operators and Users, OS, can be customized to meet individual user needs and is expected to help make practical quantum computing a reality. Although not every quantum technology is the same, so I'm not quite sure how this actually. I don't know. Universities and companies seeking to make their own quantum computers accessible via the cloud have had to independently develop extensive software to enable cloud-based operation. By offering this open source OS covering everything from setup to operation, the research partners have lowered the barrier for deploying quantum computers in the cloud. What a deal.
I mean, this is something new.
Yep. This is, in the grand scheme of things that are new, this is something new. Huh. So, additionally, quantum computing cloud services offered by the University of Osaka have been begun integrating Octopus, spelled OQTOPUS, into its operations, and Fujitsu Limited will make it available for research partners using its quantum computers in the second half of 2025. That'll be
I mean, I
inexpensive.
guess this increases the university's access to quantum resources, right?
Yeah, not everybody has a quantum computer in their backyard or basement. I know I do. I don't. But anyway,
Where is it located?
nowhere. Moving on. The next article is over in the Wanted channel. The risk of becoming allergic to meat after a tick bite may be higher than thought. Now, I don't know if you want to instantly become a vegetarian, get bit by a tick.
It's kind of extreme. I didn't know there was any chance of this happening from a tick bite.
Oh yeah. It's actually been known for a while. What is the tick? Oh, it's the same. What's the tick? A deer tick. Okay, let's just go over to the source. So the article is by Ed Cara over at gizmodo.com. And it says new research from the CDC is exposing surprising new culprits behind a growing meat allergy. So scientists from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who needs them? And local health officials
The ticks
published the.
certainly don't.
I know. Oh, maybe that's what's going on. It's a giant tick conspiracy. Yeah, I can imagine. Anyway, some research published late last week in the journal Emerging Infectious Diseases. I know of one, but it seems to be maybe a dominant disease. Anyway, so the studies detail cases of red meat allergy, formerly known as alpha gal. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what it's called, alpha gal syndrome, tied to bites from two tick species not normally associated with it. Ticks that also cause Lyme disease. There you go.
Wow, so it's like a lose-lose.
Well, I mean, you get Lyme disease and you're a vegetarian suddenly.
Right. I'm assuming you didn't want to be a vegetarian before this happens.
You lose some weight. You don't like meat. Come on. Talk about alpha gal. So these cases seem rare, but indicate that more people are at risk for the syndrome than currently assumed. Alpha gal, hey, is a sugar found in the muscles of most animals, though importantly not humans. We can normally tolerate the alpha gal, hey, found in the meat we eat without issue, but for reasons that we're still trying to understand, according to this article. A tick bite can sometimes cause our bodies to develop an overactive immune response to alpha gal, hey, essentially making us allergic to red meat and even dairy. Well, we shouldn't be drinking dairy anyway. But
right. This is pretty odd, though.
But there's a growing movement online that says that you're not supposed to eat seed oils either.
I didn't know about that one.
So it's vegetable oils extracted from seeds of plants. Including olive oil, avocado, canola, and sunflower. I wonder where on the spectrum of... Anyway, so in the U.S., alpha gal, cases are nearly always associated with the bite of a lone star tick. Amblyomma. What'd you say about my mama? Americanum, which is predominantly found throughout the eastern half of the country. But there are different tick species known to cause it in other parts of the world, and doctors stateside have encountered the occasional case in places where the Lone Star shouldn't be residing. Why do they call it the Lone Star tick, but they don't capitalize it?
It doesn't seem to be tied to Texas either, which is interesting.
So yeah, they've documented a woman in Washington who developed alpha gal. In 2017, following a bite from an unknown species of tick. So that you don't know then which tick that was. It could have been a Lone Star.
Exactly, but is that happening in other species, or is the species expanding its footprint?
So check this out. That person, as a result of the bite, switched to a vegetarian diet. 3 years later, she got a second tick bite, though she avoided any symptoms later of her diet. Blood tests showed a dramatic rise in antibodies to alpha gal. Hey, I'll stop. Anyway, it was this time she was able to collect the tick for testing, but because they didn't suffer from any symptoms, I wouldn't assume that that's what they got it. 2 years later, she got another bite from I. pacificus tick and once again experienced a rise in alpha-gal antibodies. Importantly, the woman also reported no recent travel history to places where the Lone Star tick is found. So maybe these ticks are just... have we always had them?
Well, right. Maybe we just haven't been able to detect them.
Ixodes scapularis tick, or deer tick, though Lone Star ticks have rarely been found in Maine, they're not thought to have established a local population in the area, according to researchers. But despite this, they were able to find 23 confirmed cases of red meat allergy reported to the state in Maine, dating back to 2014. While some of these people could have caught these cases while traveling in areas endemic to the Lone Star tick, several people reported no such travel. Back to alpha gal. Hey. Anyway, pretty interesting, right? So that tick right there, an Ixodes scapularis tick searching for its next meal, could bite you and turn you into a vegetarian.
Such a weird side effect of being bitten by a tick.
Hey. All right. Let's keep going. This next article is over in Non Sequitur News. No Frills Beauty brand sold cartons of eggs for $3.37 in a timely marketing stunt. Skincare brand The Ordinary went viral, or not ordinary, over the weekend by selling cartons of eggs for $3.37, and store reps told Business Insider on Monday that supplies of the ordinarily priced eggs.
Are you
What?
noticing climbing
What?
through?
What? Oh. Oh. Oh, it's right there. Y'all can't see it. Go, 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 go. Oh
Yes,
my
we
God.
can.
Production value. I didn't see it. I saw a little
It
black bar.
slowly crept behind you and
Oh,
then
no.
stayed there.
Okay, well, production value at an all-time high. Let's just move on. So Dominic Reuter over at businessinsider.com put this article together. $3.37 egg cartons. The marketing stunt comes as egg supplies are still recovering from record shortages and high prices. I'm waiting for them to hit oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, I got to focus. I got to get this done. Anyway, in a pair of Instagram posts, the company promoted the marketing stunt as ordinarily priced eggs in collaboration with the guerrilla marketing team at MSCHF or Mischief. So,
I mean, that's pretty good because I'm sure it was all for marketing, but probably tricks on them because I'm assuming people actually bought the eggs because that's a really good price.
it's so distracting having her sitting there. You ever see that news, the reporter where the kid comes walking in the little toddler thing?
Yes, and I don't know what those things are called, but yeah.
The little Strider or whatever it's called. Yeah. And then the other one comes in, and then the wife comes in to grab them and literally drags them out. That's how I feel right now. Except she's not. Come here. Come here. All right. Well, anyway. So much for a highly respected news agency reporting aggregated news from ohmtown.com. Just going to drop our name in there. Oh, please don't jump. Oh, no. This could be bad. Yeah,
I
she
know
wants to
there's
get...
a half a critter.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway. Production value at an all-time high. We're going to just keep going. Kendrick Lamar's GNX is the first rap album to hit major 2025 milestone. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Jack Antonoff and Soundwave executive produced the album, which features appearances from artists such as SZA, Roddy Ricch, and Kamasi Washington. Additional guests are a bunch of them. But anyway, continuing his reign of terror over Drake's entire existence, Kendrick Lamar hit a 2025 milestone. His 2024 album, GNX, is the first rap project to sell over 1 million album equivalent units in the United States.
I did not know that.
What a deal. So Stephen Andrew Gallagher over at Vice.com put this article together. Obviously, the news comes from other locations all over the internets. But released on November 22nd, GNX is Lamar's sixth studio album overall, but his first with PG Lang Interscope following his exit from Top Dog Entertainment and Aftermath Entertainment. So basically, if you get into a scuffle with somebody in entertainment, if you do it right, there's both could win.
True. If you do it wrong, maybe not.
You end up with this, where somebody is getting crushed and their only option is to litigate and say, millions of people believe what Kendrick Lamar is saying about me. Yeah. I mean, that sucks because unless there's evidence, then it's basically just popular opinion. But let's just say brutal rap beef, it says here, which needs to be a cheesesteak sandwich name.
Okay, maybe it will be. You heard it here first.
Yeah. What's a good, what is it? Who's that restaurant? There's like Jersey Mike's. So Jersey Mike's, right? I think that's national. That's not just an East Coast thing. So
in fact, we had an article on that because it started as like one local shop and then obviously went national.
That's how it works. I know of a incoming coffee brand that could go national really quick.
Are you going to
Anyway,
give any hints on that?
nope, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. So their intent from day one was to keep the nature of it as a sport. Kung Fu Kenny later explained during a new Apple Music interview, discussing his decision to engage in the beef. I don't care how MFers look at it as far as like a collaborative effort. That's cool too. But I love when artists grit their teeth. I probably couldn't say it more like a mayor than I just did.
Yeah, I'm not sure you quite did it justice, but
Yeah. I still watch battle raps, which I didn't think they're called battle raps. I thought they were rap battles. But anyway, I still watch Smack URL, I guess. From Murda Mook to Lux to Tay Rock. My bro Dalet. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway. Imagine that, man. First album in 2025 to sell over 1 million equivalent units.
is that a record for 2025 or like that's not the first rap album
You
to
know,
sell over 1 million? That's what I actually thought it meant when I first, but I think it is in 2025.
yeah, I think it's just, yeah. So it took like less than 90 days to. Not bad. Because, oh, well, see, it says it was released in November 2022. So, that's kind of a weird thing. I don't know how that rotation works, but okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know when they start and stop the time frame.
Well, Kendrick Lamar is kicking Drake's ass still. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. United pilots trigger 2 Flightmares after forgetting their own passports. 2 United Airlines flights to Shanghai were disrupted this month after pilots forgot their passports. The incidents caused delays and diversions to passengers. Diverting flights is costly due to fuel, crew members, compensation, but not one, but 2 United Airline pilots have forgotten their passports this month, triggering diversions and lengthy delays for passengers. I don't
Do
know
you
why they
think
would
they
get
were
diverted.
scanning themselves when they went through security? Is that the problem?
Lindsay Dodgson put the article together. Like, how do you get on to a plane
How
that goes
did you
international?
even get into the boarding area?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be taking an international flight, you have to have your passport. How did they? Because when you're on the inside, this is like the perfect insider threat kind of a concept, right? So incidents cause delays, diversions, and whatnot. But I'm more interested in the greater security apparatus at hand here. Why weren't these people treated the same as everybody else, that you can't get on board a plane unless you have been vetted from end to end, stem to stern?
Right, and when did they figure out their passport was missing? Or they must have been in the air, but why were they checking for their passport when they're flying the plane?
Saturday's United Flight 198 from Los Angeles to Shanghai was diverted to San Francisco International Airport as the pilot did not have their passport on board, an airline spokesperson told Business Insider. We arranged for a new crew to take our customers to their destination that evening. Customers were provided with meal vouchers and compensation.
The only thing that drives you crazier than a long distance flight is a delayed long distance flight.
Yeah, this is just insane. So United said in a statement that flight UA857, a Boeing 777 heading for Shanghai with 348 passengers and 16 crew, was delayed on March 14th prior to departure due to one of the pilots not having their passport. So a new pilot was brought in and the flight subsequently departed for Shanghai.
Okay, so 2 flights to Shanghai. Maybe there is a problem with the same gate agent or whomever is checking things on the departing side.
They need to immediately be sent to the Boeing Bolt installer line. That'll fix them. Moving
Oh
on.
no.
Next article's over in Technology Today. Okay, so this one here, a word about 23andMe right now. All right, folks. So we have been talking about 23andMe circling the drain for quite some time now. I was actually about to divulge my DNA. That sounds grosser than it really is. But anyway, I was about to deliver my DNA onto 23. No, that's not right. I was about to make a
Share?
splash. I was about to. Oh wait. Here we can do this. I was about to my DNA with 23andMe. Anyway, so 23andMe has been circling the drain, and guess what? They filed for bankruptcy, which means all of their data is going to be sold to somebody.
And who could that be? Who knows?
The genetic information company declared bankruptcy on Sunday, and the California's Attorney General has issued a privacy consumer alert. Delete yo shit, nah. So Jeffrey A. Fowler over at WashingtonPost.com put the article together. I don't know if I didn't log in and blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, it's a really short story. The genetic information company best known for its saliva test kit. Oh, is that? That's not how I was Anyway, we won't talk about it. Maybe that's why they went bankrupt. Anyway, they were headed for bankruptcy court to sell its assets, and 23andMe financial distress prompted California Attorney General Rob Bonta to issue an unusual privacy consumer alert about it Friday.
You know, this is not the kind of thing you think when you're giving your data to some company that years down the road, they're going to go into bankruptcy. I know. People other than Mayor Watt don't think about that.
So I'm starting up a service right now under my company brand name as a service, CYA Surveillance Services. You subscribe, and I will text you periodically. Don't do that, dumbass.
It's like prevent it before it happens.
Correct. It's prophylactic assistance, as a doctor would call it, right? You go to your general practitioner to get a prophylactic health check. That too sounds kind of gross in the context of what I do as mayor. But anyway, you want to protect yourself from this kind of stuff. And so you got to think long and hard about it. Now, 23andMe has been around so long that I knew when it kicked off. And now I've seen it flame out. And that entire time I've been sitting there going, God, I really want a service like this, but God, I don't want to give them my data. And I certainly don't want them to be able to sell it ever, ever, ever.
Well, that was good thinking ahead.
Well, there you go, folks. Go delete your data. And just so you know, there is no reason why your data would actually be deleted. They can say that they're deleting your data until the cows come home, and it's still in an archive somewhere being sold as an asset.
Right, and you'll never know until something gets connected to your data down the road or something.
Until the Terminator body that shows up at your doorstep looks identical to you. And you answer the door and you open it up and it says, I am here to take your place in the universe, and then ends you. And then just uses you as fuel for its quantum computer. And you are heard
Is it
from
part
again.
Of octopus?
Yeah. That's exactly what. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Continuity Report. Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal lead an oddly unserious Othello. The big ticket revival of Othello with Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal lacks a big ticket idea. Not quite sure what this is all about, but it's over at Washington Post. Oh, pardon me one second. Oh, no.
So I think this has to do with theater.
Yeah, so anyone considering a ticket in the first 14 rows is now up for $921 at upcoming performances. Might be curious for some cost-benefit analysis. Living up to a hefty price is not the fairest measure of aesthetic achievement, but let's table for another time our existential laments about the decay of art under capitalism. They say here that the production of Othello, co-headlined by Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, lacks a big idea to make it seem much more than a massive overinvestment. But if they pull it off, what does it matter? If it's good
Well, it's
entertainment.
not clear if this review saw the actual premiere or pre-shows or whatever, but I mean those are good actors, so in concept it could work.
I want to see something. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what all is going to happen with this. So, does it? I'm trying to pull up some more information about this because the article is kind of light in it.
What are you trying to find?
So they capitalize big idea in this. And so
It
I
looks
think
like
this
it's
is,
already going because it has tickets for a couple days from now. It's sold out tomorrow.
yeah, there isn't much more to it. It says
It's at the Ethel Barrymore Theater in New York, New York.
yeah, that would have been funny if you're like, it's off Broadway.
No,
And
no,
it's at
no,
that,
it's Broadway.
it's at that theater, but it's in Kentucky.
Well,
You know,
not
what'll
all of our
happen.
listeners are from the US, so
Oh no, I understand that. But this is, if this is actually what it is, it says Denzel Washington left as Othello and Jake Gyllenhaal as Iago. I'm a dumbass. Iago, in Othello on Broadway. So I don't know if they have the chops to pull it off. Then, a fool and their money is soon parted is not lost on me. I mean,
well, and the arts is a good way to spend your money. $921 for a ticket seems kind of pricey, but
yeah. So big ideas is I think everything that they have in here is like a riff off of something. Like Big Stars is, I think, part of Shakespearean writing. Meaty tragedy is. Big ideas plural, actually, if I recall correctly. So anyway, I think it's just kind
okay,
of
wait.
interesting.
So the production is Broadway's top grossing play of all time. It's already gotten, well, partially because of ticket prices, but it's $2.8 million from 8 preview performances, exceeded Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Wait, these
Mm-hmm.
two,
Oh, yeah.
this.
And then this is in previews or preview shows.
Dear God. Let's move on. The next article is over on the Marble Channel. Colombia's lonely chimp Yoko finds a new home in Brazil, kidnapped from their home, from his home, as an infant, then raised by a drug lord before ending up in a Colombian zoo. Yoko the chimpanzee has lived the last 2 years of his life alone. Well, David Salazar over at phys.org put this article together, and they write that he lost his last friend, Cheetah, in 2023 when she escaped from the zoo. On Sunday, the 38-year-old Yoko was flown to Brazil to finally join others of his kind, at a sanctuary there. But will he make friends? Yoko is in many ways, more human than Chimp, his caregivers say. He uses a knife and fork, plays ball, watches television, and makes artwork with crayon on paper and canvas. That right there should make him a millionaire, because whatever it is, people are going to want a piece of that. But anyway, they go on to say that fed junk food by their captor, a narco trafficker whose name has not been divulged. Yoko has only 4 of his teeth left. Chimps, like humans, are meant to have 32, so he wasn't well taken care of. Although,
No, and he was allowed to smoke and just have other bad habits. It looks like he had a long existence that was a solo chimp.
yeah, how long was he out? I mean, he's
Well,
38
he's
now.
38, but I think that's I I looked ahead at this one. I apologize. I don't remember how long they have a lifespan, but that's a good bit of a chimp's lifespan, I think.
Yeah, there are more than 40 other chimps there, but vets and animal behaviorists worry Yoko may not fit in. Yoko is not a chimpanzee in the strict sense. He is an animal that identifies much more with human beings, says Cesar Gomez, Ukumari's animal training coordinator. So, to give you an example, a smile is something positive for humans, but not for chimpanzees. It is something negative, and Yoko does not understand these types of communications because we've turned a smile. Showing your teeth to an animal is a form of aggression, and you become
Right.
a threat.
So he's not going to deal well with other basic things, right? The chimps may do because he hasn't been around them. But I would like to think some of that's still genetic, right? Like, or instinct. Oh, 60. Okay. He may pick
Yeah,
up on
so
that pretty quickly, especially if somebody's growling or charging at him or something.
yeah, you learn pretty quick. So, in the wild, their natural home of Africa, chimpanzees die at around 40 to 45 years of age. They're social group animals with good care. In captivity, they can live up to 60. The chimpanzee is listed in the endangered species list by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So, yep, I'm sure that some more information will come as time goes on, but
Well, I think this is a good next step for him. I hope he enjoys his next location. And it's interesting because it also makes a statement about the country of Colombia now has no um, chimps, and that's the only country in the world, apparently, at least where they're tracking, that don't have any in zoos now. This was the only one.
oh, really? Interesting. Wow. Well, now this one's going off to Brazil. All right, let's keep going. The next one, I guess, I don't know. I got a lot of animal kind of stuff going on. We have an octopus. We have something allergic to meat because of a tick, a deer tick.
Well, I didn't pick up on all the animal themes today.
We have eggs. We have a beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. We have a couple of numbnuts who forgot their passport. That's not an animal product, but it still is a nature one. I mean, a couple of numbnuts.
It's
Anyway,
related to birds, though.
there you go. I guess you can call them peckers. DNA from 23andMe, it's the human animal. And then Othello, oh shit, that one fell off the tracks there. I don't know what to say about that one. And then Colombia's lonely chimp. And now Chinese blackbirds are mimicking electric moped alarms. Chinese blackbirds can mimic electric moped alarms through their imitations are simplified. A new study shows that mimicry is more common than expected and may involve copying both the source and other birds, prompting further research into urban sound influence on birdsong. I know of humans recently went to a restaurant. No, it was a restaurant. So went to a restaurant, and two polar opposites of the restaurant, a baby cried out in one part, and then another baby cried out on the other side, and then the same baby cried out again. So it was like two birds talking to each other. And I was like, they're going to start a howl. So these Chinese blackbirds are mimicking electric moped alarms. Kai Communication, I guess it is, KEAI. Communications Company Limited put this article together. It's over at scitechdaily.com. I'm a little dehydrated or something. Anyway, however, according to Chengjian Fu, an ornithologist and PhD candidate at the Lab of Animal Behavior and Conservation at Nanjing University in China, reports of wild birds mimicking human-made sounds remain anecdotal. To date, no scientific study has conducted a systematic or quantitative investigation of this phenomenon. To that end, Fu and his colleagues described in a study published at KEI, K-E, it's capital K, lowercase e, capital A, lowercase I. Anyway, journal Avian Research how human-made sounds and those imitated by birds differ through quantitative investigation. So,
So this is interesting because I mean, people are aware of birds mimicking, but I guess those are only in captivity.
oh, that's interesting. So they basically just repeat what they hear. And so, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you look at the chimp just imitated everything that it saw, and it was more human behavior than animal. So,
Right, because that was what it had to observe.
yep. So during their study, which involved 6 months of field work and recording of over 40 electric moped sounds and 26 male Chinese blackbird song repertoires, including a total of 3,041 songs, the team discovered that males, 50%, could imitate the alarms of electric mopeds, and 84 songs contained the mimetic alarms, so 2.8 out of the
Maybe they
entire
like the
list.
sound of the moped alarm.
That's kind of funny. Or are they just saying that it mimics it because the bird actually did that and it just happened to fall in line?
I'm assuming it's a specific note or tone that maybe wasn't there prior, so they can differentiate it.
As human made sounds are difficult to produce, which the AI kind of implies by that, Chinese blackbirds copy a simplified version of these sounds. We found that the mimetic sounds from different sites also differed in acoustic structures. Chinese blackbirds seem to imitate the sounds not only from electric mopeds directly, but from other conspecific neighbors, which is known as secondary mimicry. So they learned it from somebody else.
So it's like the game of telephone. So how much does it sound like the original? Interesting.
Yeah, really. So yeah, I don't know. It says it may be universal. I think birds in all flavors will mimic if they're forced to mimic because they hear that sound, whatever it might be. Kind of interesting. So yeah, that's why I chose this, because we've had a couple of articles about how birds are singing songs of something else, and for a long time there was a bird that I referenced as laser bird because it would go pew 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 pew. And then well, I moved, and so I took the sentient AI with me, and so now we don't know whatever happened to the laser bird.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway,
a lot of birds have very distinctive sounds, and there's been some interesting things. Again, primarily pet birds, but right where they're
yeah,
repeating something somebody said or something along those lines.
yeah, get off my lawn. All right, let's do our last article for today over in Technology Today. Could you walk across the UK in a perfectly straight line? Inside YouTube's strangest challenge. On straight line missions, YouTubers jump fences, wade through rivers, and almost die in peat bogs. It's completely pointless and weirdly beautiful. Spending too much time on YouTube can be dangerous for a dangerous game for men my age. This is the author speaking, not me. Although it would probably be dangerous for me. Algorithmic gyres can pull you rightwards towards misogynistic extremes and away from parts of the internet that build connections and foster consensus. Thankfully, the rabbit hole that this person fell down in a perfectly straight line towards a renewed sense of childlike adventure. Well, if you're not respecting people's property lines.
Yeah, this it sounds like a neat idea, except what's in between you and the end point.
Miles Herbert over at theguardian.com, The Fighting Guardians. Put this article together. The mission across Wales on straight line missions. So spending too much time, you probably don't want to go and do this kind of stuff. Although touching grass is great. You got to touch your own grass more than somebody else's. Although you can ask them first, knock on the door and say, hey, can I travail your lush lawn? And try not to say it any more creepy than I just did.
That would be easy.
All right.
You know,
So the
I
man,
think if people came up and said, "Hey, I'm trying to walk across the country in a straight line and your property's in the way," I think a lot of people would say, "Oh, okay." I mean, they might be a little confused.
So the man in the video is Tom Davies, aka GeoWizard, the inventor of this impossible challenge, straight line missioning. Soon after his video, copycats began to pop up. Creators began traversing rugged terrain, sometimes for days on end, in pursuit of this juvenile glory. The author says that they devoured it all. You know, and I said it before, Miles Herbert over at TheGuardian.com, who put this article together. Straight line missioning is mostly innocuous, pointless, even inane. At its best, it feels transgressive in a cultural moment where masculinity is so often blatantly harmful. This has nothing to do with anything.
I
Except,
think he's talking about other things that are problematic online.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, but all right. Well, anyway, on Reddit, there are stories of fathers and sons spending the weekend together completing their own challenge. Their favorite contribution to the canon is the pair of New Zealand teenagers who moved the author to tears with their friendship and care. Who's the guy? I would refer to him as a kid because I am that much older than him. But the guy who put the train track, what's his name?
Oh, Preston Goes.
Yeah. Oh my God. How in the hell? Anyway, Preston Goes over on YouTube. Look him up. He had been on YouTube for a little while, and then he pivoted hardcore. Like, started buying into a phrase, like I think it's like "keep going," and is selling hoodies now that say that. Anyway, seems like a positive force for good until they turn supervillain. But these two might be the same way. A couple of teenagers. They reminded them of the banal misadventures of their own youth with their own male friends whom they lost touch with long ago. I don't know why they have to sit there and keep, in a world where you are lashing out about, offensive masculinity, you're kind of ringing
They're trying
the
to give
bell.
examples of positive, but I know they're
Sure.
very on that theme.
Yeah. So they like to think there is a political purpose to their transgressions. GeoWizard has successfully missioned across England, a country whose landmass is owned by less than 1% of the population. The Fieldhouse Boys were the first people to take a perfectly direct route across Scotland, where land ownership is the most inequitable in the Western world. So you can see that the tilt of this discussion is decidedly not on, I'd say, target for a positive message. It's more railing against the status quo of government ownership of land. But then when it's personally held, it's just as virulent because...
Right, and there's benefits to public ownership at
Yeah,
times. Obviously, it depends on
everybody...
how they acquired it and all that, but
Yeah.
because they might preserve the land.
Yeah, and it's owned by everyone, so nobody should be defiling it in some horrendous way. But anyway, God, it's so weird.
But I
Anyway,
do think getting outside and adventuring to a point is a good thing. I could see where this could run into problems depending on where you're doing it and whether the people have any life skills.
they say here, perhaps that's exactly what straight line missioners are encouraging, to feel the earth beneath your feet, to reconnect with lands that have been overruled by private owners and garish wealth. But that's in juxtaposition to what was said earlier. It might be one of the few internet phenomena which has inspired people to touch grass. So the first thing I said is the last thing they said.
We got there more quickly. They took a
Wow.
roundabout, not a straight line.
Not a straight line, a circuitous route to get to making the statement, go outside, touch grass, but touch your grass first. If you want to touch your neighbor's grass, ask them nicely. Anyway, that's it, folks. We are going to go and touch some grass, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of ohmtown.com, where you should go and become a citizen. like and subscribe, ring the bell, post a comment, come and hang out with us. We do this every day, typically at 7 o'clock, but I have mayoral duties I need to attend to, so we started earlier, 6:15-ish, 6:30-ish. Anyway, you can, after we're done here, I'm going to refire this engine, and it's going to play back the last 2 weeks, which is 6 episodes of each of the weekend shows. So there's
So that would be 12 if it's from 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's 12 episodes of weekend shows, and then 10 yeah, 10 the sentient AI just threw up a number on the screen because they have a different type of interface that I get to interact with, and gave the representation of 10, which amounts to the AI's way of saying, here, dumbass, this is how 2 weeks works when you have a Monday through Friday show.
You got sidetracked from calculating it.
Here we go.
Exactly.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm Mayor Watt. I'm getting out of here, and I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. You better close this up.
All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.